Local 4 News begins right now with a breaking news alert.
That breaking news is happening right now in Dearborn, where 2 young children have been shot inside of an in-home daycare. Thank you so much for joining us this noon. We're told that both children, ages 2 and 4, are listed in critical condition. Our sources are telling us that another child was playing with the gun when that gun went off, hitting both of those kids. Our Rod Cassimy is live at Children's Hospital, where both children are being treated for their injuries. And Rod, we'll get to you in a moment. But Rod, we want to start with you. You're there in the scene in this Dearborn neighborhood. Talk us through what you've learned about what unfolded here.
Well, we're here at the house here in Dearborn, and the shooter was in the house, we're told, and the chief is not willing to say it was one of the children. In fact, what it was he would not officially say that it was a child in the house, but it's the only other option because it was from within the house that the 911 call came. We're told that it was a daycare with a number of children in it, one adult in the house, and it was that they found this weapon in the house, and 2 of the children wound up being shot. Now, it was a frantic scene out here as the paramedics got on the scene as soon as the 911 call came in, and they took these 2 children and immediately shipped them to the hospital. In fact, it was a situation where the police were blocking off intersections as a way to get them to the hospital as quickly as possible, and they were getting police escorts and 2 separate ambulances going to 2 separate hospitals. Let's hear from Chief Ron Haddad, who can talk about precisely what it was that he understands about this and his thoughts about where this situation is at noontime.
I would just say that we're going to pray that these 2 young kids are going to be okay. However it shakes out, it's a tragedy for our entire community.
I've seen them out in the backyard playing in their diapers, and there's 5 or 6 kids at a time out there, maybe more. And a lot of times it's just the other kids, her older children, watching them.
And so that's what one of the neighbors had to say about this situation. Now, we asked Chief Haddad about the notion of small children, a large group of small children finding a gun. He said it was irresponsible. He calls this a tragic event. We have 2 children who are in critical condition right now, and he and many of the first responders here are praying for them and their families. The other children who were in the daycare at the time were picked up, snapped up by the police, put into cars, and rushed over to the police station where their parents were able to pick them up. Reporting live in Dearborn, Rod Maloney, back to you.
Just unfathomable that guns would be in a home, a daycare home, in the reach of children. Rod, thank you. We do want to bring in Rod Cassimy now. And Rod, I know that we were hearing the kids are listed in critical condition here outside Children's Hospital, where at least one of the kids you saw arrive in an ambulance. Are you able to determine the extent of their injuries?
Right now, we're still waiting to get that word, Rhonda, but what I can tell you is that it was an incredibly sad situation, a tragic situation, especially to see this ambulance arriving here firsthand. It makes it very, very real. Let's get right to the video. That ambulance, Dearborn ambulance, arriving here at Children's Hospital around 10:53, so just before 11 o'clock this morning. What was interesting about this is that it was surrounded by a number of police cars as it came and pulled here into the emergency section of the hospital. Again, as you mentioned, the children listed in critical condition. We know that one was brought here by ambulance, and then another one was brought by a helicopter. We did see a helicopter land here several moments later. It's unclear if that's the helicopter that carried the child here to the hospital. I have put in several calls to the Public Relations Department for Children's Hospital here in the city of Detroit, as well as an email to them. We're still waiting to hear back from them. But again, now we know that at least one child is being treated there at the hospital, and a very real and sad situation given what happened.
Oh, Rod, I can only imagine what those parents are going through. Our prayers are with those children to make a full recovery. And we will, of course, keep you updated as we begin to learn more and more about the investigation into what actually unfolded inside of this home. We'll keep you updated both here and on clickondetroit.com throughout the afternoon.